Hello guys, going to be going over the Sunday main NBA slate, 7 games today. So OKC against Cleveland. OKC is pretty healthy now. They have SGA, Maladon, they're going to be the ball handlers. So Diallo is just no longer someone that we're really going to look to. Now, last game we saw Diallo actually close over Bazley. So we definitely will have to probably monitor this if it continues in the future because Bazley has been someone that he usually does close, and he's just been having some really tough shooting difficulties, and his minutes have mostly been pretty good. Some games he has a foul trouble or blowouts. So if he plays well, this is an opponent that he certainly could. And the Cavs, we probably don't need to worry about blowouts here. So Bazley at 5,600, he definitely has upside, but the minutes, like if he's not playing well, I mean, you're probably not getting there anyway. So I think for tournaments, that's the kind of guy that you can definitely go to. He's always really low owned. SG 8100, he's fun as well. Just all these guys are tournament plays. There's really no cash plays like Maladon. Just his usage is like in the teens, so you can't really go there when SGA Horford they're just taking up most of the usage. Now for the Cleveland side, still Jared Allen continuing to start. Osman as well with Prince out. So Sexton 7,300. That's a little bit tough to pay for. I think Garland just stands out a lot more. 5,600, someone that's hovering around 25% usage on the season. Now OKC just not a team that plays really fast, but defensively they're not that great. Cavs definitely are giving Sexton, Garland pretty much everything that they can handle, giving them the minutes, the shot attempts. All of that looks really good for Garland. So I'd rather just take the Sammys and take him. Now Osman, his minutes weren't that great last time because they have Dylan Windler back, and he's just someone that can definitely steal Osman's minutes. Okoro, he's the guy who has a really low floor, so 4K, I think you just go with better value plays elsewhere. Minnesota, New York, Towns only played 30 minutes last time, and he wasn't in foul trouble or anything, so that's definitely a little bit concerning. But New York, Nerlens Noel, he's a good defender, but he's just a little bit too, he's kind of more slender, so Towns should be able to handle him and inside under the paint. So I think Towns definitely will remain a very good tournament option until he has one of those spots where he's just against like a smash team like the Bulls or the Kings, and he's just like underpriced. So I think in this spot, it's a very good spot for centers. 9,500, I would like him to be cheaper, but he's definitely still got really good upside here. So I'll definitely have some tournament interest in him. Now, so without D'Lo, Beasley, Edwards, they're going to look the best after Towns because Rubio, his minutes haven't been that great. McLaughlin's been playing really well, so I definitely like Edwards, what we've been seeing. His shooting's still very inconsistent, of course, for a rookie, but his shot attempts are very encouraging. Like you're seeing mid-teens a lot. Got up to 20, 21 shots even, and these are with Towns playing. So against the Knicks have been pretty good defensively, and they play really slow. But the price, I think, with the minutes to shot attempts, definitely Edwards could be a tournament play, but doesn't, it's not like a must-have. And then Vanderbilt and McDaniels, they pretty much split the power forward minutes. So whoever plays well, 38, 3700, they're cheap enough where, they could be good value plays, but most likely they're going to be guarding Julius Randle, so it's going to be very tough for them. Now on the Knicks side, better matchup for them. Randle at 94, he's been amazing this year. It's a good matchup, but just the price, on a 7-game slate, do you really want to pay 9,400 for Randle? Now, for me, probably not. And then everyone else, it's like the minutes are just split. Like, you have Barrett, who loses minutes to Burks and Bullock and, Rose, Quickly, Payne. All these guys, their minutes are they just fluctuate so much. So, for tournaments, yeah, it's a good spot. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Alfred Payne had a good game and he got closing minutes. So, 4,900, he's something to take a shot on. Now, Pistons and the Magic. Dolan Wright is doubtful, so Dennis Smith Jr. most likely going to start here. We don't know what kind of minutes he's going to play. They definitely could use Saban Lee as a backup. The matchup against Orlando, it's not tough at all, but DSJ, like, remember when he was on the Knicks, if you guys played DFS a few years back, even when he started now, that's a different situation because Fizdale was just really crazy with his rotations. They had like multiple point guards. So DSJ, 4K, Pistons, like, they do have some guys out, like Blake Griffin as well, and obviously DeLon. So, he should start 4K. I think he'd definitely do worse. I think for cash, he's going to be really chalky, so you just play him. You pretty much just, take that 4K, plug him in at point guard. Now, everyone else, Grant, Plumlee, Saddiq Bey, Josh Jackson, I think all of them could get bumps because of DeLon Wright just being out. DSJ probably is going to have lower usage. His assist rate could be lower. So I would say that's going to help everyone else's usage, and that's why I think Grant 7600, he looks pretty good. Now, Plumlee against Vooch, that's very tough because he fouls out a lot. So I definitely prefer Grant over Plumlee. Saddiq Bey, he's been playing well. He's more of a shooter though. He'll definitely get rebounds, but when you have Grant and Plumlee in there, the rebounds, there's not gonna be a lot, and then you have Vooch on the other side. So I think the main play, it's DSJ, and it's gonna be Grant. Now Orlando, a lot of injuries still. Now I don't think you can really play a lot of these guys at the prices. Like Vooch, he's amazing. It's a great matchup, but 10.3, like, the ceiling's kind of capped there. Terrence Ross, very shot dependent. He's been playing really well peripherals, but he can definitely just go cold. He's just one of those very streaky players. Fournier, 6.3K, that's fine, but the Pistons, they don't play really that fast. Their defense isn't awful. Michael Carter Williams, he contributes across the board, but at 5,500 also, it's not like a great value play anymore. Kevin Burch, he started last time power forward, but he just play one stint and be done. So 3,500, if he gets more minutes, sure, but you're playing with a really low floor. Now, Philly and Toronto, Simmons' problem with his illness. Shake Milton likely will be back as well. So the prices, because they have been adjusted to Simmons being out the last, I think, 2 games, Embiid at 10.9K, it's a good matchup. Baines cannot handle him. Boucher's too small. But again, just the price is difficult to get to him. To buy, same thing. Simmons, their prices are just kind of too high right now. Just not really appealing for Philly because of the pricing. Now, Lowry's doubtful, so we're going to have to look to VanVleet and Siakam. They're playing at home, and Philly being pretty much at full strength now, it's definitely a very tough matchup for the Raptors, but without Lowry, they still have some really good players. So if you think this game stays close, it has to be VanVleet, Siakam, and Powell. Now, I'd rather go to VanVleet and Siakam because Powell, he's definitely a third option. He's been playing really well, but he's been shooting well. Like, you got VanVleet and Siakam who, they're really productive fantasy players, and like the shots, like you're not going to see him go 4 for 20 again. Siakam, he didn't play that well last time, so without Lowry, these guys are just going to have to soak up a lot of usage. Their minutes are probably going to get staggered as well, so I really like them. As long as this game stays close, VanVleet and Siakam going to have to be having just absolute monster games. Powell, he's fine, but at 6,900, like, that's a little bit too expensive. Again, Baines, I would say he gets more minutes this time to match up against Embiid. Foul trouble risk for sure. He's probably more of just a minutes guy, so I don't really want to play him as a fantasy play, but it's relevant because Boucher probably is not going to get a lot of minutes. Maybe they play them both together again because of Lowry being out, but we're not going to know. OG Anunoby, he's interesting because he's kind of cheap. His minutes, hopefully, if he's not on a limit, then I would have some interest. If he is limited, then no. Bembry, 3,500. He started last time, a few games actually, so 3,500. His minutes also are consistent. They have some guys back like Yuta, even like Malachi Flynn, McCaw. So, Bembry, he's a pretty low floor guy. Now, Denver and Atlanta. Denver, they have a really good matchup here, and they have a lot of injuries. But Jokic and Murray, the Atlanta Hawks, they're not as bad against centers, but Jokic, he's a beast. Like, if you can get to him, great. Murray, 8,600 against Trae Young, very good matchup, but he's coming off of a career high game. So at this price, I probably don't want to chase that. Now, Michael Porter Jr., I think he's the most interesting guy because they're going to be without Green, Millsap, Gary Harris, Dozier. So they're probably going to start MPJ, and he can definitely play and close at the 4. So it's going to mean more rebounds. It's going to mean just more minutes in general. So I do have interest in him. Will Barnes as well. If you can't quite get to MPJ, I think Barnes is fine, but I definitely would prefer Porter. And then they did start Morris. And then Morris came in for JaMychal, but then they started Hampton in the second half. But because these main guys in Jokic, Murray are still healthy, I don't want to go to Hampton for value. So I would say MPJ looks pretty good. He stands out because of the price tag and the upside that he has in the matchup. Now for Atlanta, Trae Young, 9,700. There's no Gary Harris, so the defense is going to be a lot easier for Trae. Now, I would say Capella, as long as he stays out of foul trouble, this is a spot where we can probably see him get mid-30s in minutes, which they have been a slight concern because Collins has definitely played at the 5 a lot more. That probably could hurt Herter, Reddish, and Gallo, though, because you're probably going to get Collins and Capella playing a lot. And then that's just going to hurt wing minutes. So you might see reduced rebounds for Gallinari in this matchup, but they definitely still need a scoring because they have a lot of guys out right now. So, Reddish, Gallo, they still have some interest because the prices. And then Brooklyn at Clippers, this game looks pretty intriguing. It's going to be one of the highest totals, 240 right now. Clippers favored by 5. No K is going to mean Harden, Kyrie minutes going to be staggered. I'm always going to prefer Harden over Kyrie, but close to a 2K price difference now. I'm not too afraid of Patrick Beverley's defense, so I think Kyrie looks pretty good here. Just the matchup. Now Harden, I think I probably would rather just save in this spot because of the 2K difference. Like back then, I know I prefer Harden, but the price now is getting a little bit more drastic. So pretty much it's going to be just Harden and Kyrie. Now the Clippers side, Paul George was limited. They're pretty much healthy now, so I'm going to like Kawhi the most. And first, obviously, it's the Nets. This is a really good matchup for the Clippers, but a lot of these guys are limited. Paul George, he played 27 minutes last time, and it was a close game. So because it's only a second game back, he probably plays like 30, maybe 32. So that just means that there's going to be a lot more time for Kawhi to play by himself, more usage to him, and just a fantastic matchup. So I really like Kawhi here. Now, Paul George is going to be on a limit because, injury. I'm not going to want him at 9,100. I'd just rather go to Kawhi. Lou Will, though, too expensive. And Patrick Beverley, 4,400. He's been back a few games. Maybe we see him get to 30 minutes because they're going to need his defense on Kyrie. He's got a low floor, and because they're healthy, he can literally go out there and get you like 10 fantasy points. But he does have a really good ceiling. He rebounds pretty well. Nets, they struggle there. Steals, blocks. Harden and Kyrie do turn the ball over. So Beverley, in that case, he definitely has the upside though. He's gone 40 plus. So, for point guards in the 4K, 3K range, there's definitely some guys that you can look to because Dennis Smith Jr. is probably going to be the chalk, and you're going to be playing. If you're playing Beverley, DJ Augustine, or someone else, you're going to be a lot different. So I like that play for tournaments. Now on to the last game, Sacramento, Milwaukee. Sacramento's on a back-to-back, so they might rest some players. We don't know who they're getting back. They have some injuries, so for right now, I'm not going to put any core plays, but the Bucks, they play faster. Defense has definitely taken a hit because of Drew Holiday being out, and now they're putting in DJ Augustine over Forbes, who is still defensively, that's not going to be as good as Drew. Fox at this price is too cheap, 7,700. If they're going to be in this game, Fox has to be playing really well. Buddy as well, and again, the 3-point matchup. Now, Bucks, everyone knows how great of a shooter Buddy Hield is, so it's not like this matchup, because they allow a lot of threes, that Buddy's just going to get a lot of open looks. They're going to defend Buddy a lot, defend him well. So you're probably going to get increased 3-point looks for Halliburton, Fox, Bagley, Bielitsa, if he gets minutes. So I think, for those guys, you're going to get increased looks from deep. But still, Buddy, Halliburton, they're going to look really good because they really need them to play well to be in this game. So if you're playing someone in the Bucks, I would say you want to have at least one of Fox, Hield, or Halliburton. It just makes sense for a lineup construction. And if Holmes is out again and they start Whiteside, which I think they probably should, because if they go small with Jeffries or someone, they can't guard Giannis. Now, I'm not saying Bagley can either, but Bagley, we don't really know what's going to go on with him because he's been back from injury. They said maybe he plays like 28. He plays 35, and it's a back-to-back. So we're going to have to monitor that situation. Whiteside, he got in a foul trouble, and he just never came back because the Kings played pretty well, I think, in the fourth quarter to get back into the game. So Whiteside, he definitely has a ceiling, though, 4,900. If he starts again, we've seen what kind of things he can do. So now the Bucks, Giannis, 11K, he's fine. I mean, probably going to be one of the top studs, really, more than fine, because the Kings, it's a really good matchup. And without Drew, you're just going to get Giannis Middleton pretty much doing everything. Now, Middleton, I know he hasn't been playing really well, but this guy's an all-star. He's just way too good to be this bad. And the matchup, this is certainly a get right spot for him. So I really like Middleton. Now, I think DJ Augustine, he started last time for Forbes. This is a good spot as well, just for everyone on the Bucks. And he's going to get 10 minutes maybe playing without Giannis. So, that's some time where he should get some really good usage, assists. So I like Augustine as a value, 300. Going to probably be low owned because of DSJ. So I think that's one spot you can be different. So, again, this is more of a cash build. So that's why I'm going to be plugging in Dennis Smith Jr. and then Darius Garland. And then it's going to be Kyrie, Kawhi, and then the last play will be from the Nuggets and MPJ. So that's going to be the core five for right now. It's a Sunday, so every time for NBA, if you've been playing Sundays, it gets wacky. So make sure you stay up to date with the news. Follow me on Twitter at Ballfuls. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like before you go. I'll make sure to tweet out, updates throughout the day. And again, good luck on the slate, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.